we're talking about phase shift and vertical shift, and I'm not good at drawing, so just be patient here. But what we drew the other day was just a basic sine and cosine, and all these are going to be sine and cosine, right? But if it has a phase shift, it just moves over a bit. You understand that? That means it goes left or right. And if it has a vertical shift, it's like this. Man, I didn't like that. Okay, it goes taller. It goes up or down, okay? So phase shifts and vertical shifts can shift the midline, can shift where the midline is, which is if you drew a line, the midline across the graph, it's where the graph gets cut in half. And here the midline is kind of like here. It went up a little bit, okay? So I gave you formulas for phase shifts and they're pretty easy. So now we're going to have some numbers added to our equations. And I'm not going to have you graph these, but I do need you to understand what happens in these graphs. So when I'm doing these, I like putting the basic equation down with all the letters so then I can figure out what the letters are. So let's say I have y equals 4 sine of 2 theta plus 60 degrees plus 40 degrees, okay? Then let's start putting the numbers down. What I do is I map this over, and A is 4. Everybody see where I got A is 4? K is 2. Did everybody see where I get K is 2? C is 60, and D is 40. Now I want you to look at that and make sure you understand it. It's not that hard, okay? The phase shift, the amplitude's 4, the period's 180, 360 divided by 2. The phase shift is negative c over k, which is negative 60 over 2, which is negative 30. And the vertical shift is this number. If it's positive 40, it's 40 up. If it's negative 40, it's 40 down, okay? We have 1/3 cosine of theta over 7 minus 135 minus 3. And if I put the formula down, it's going to be k theta minus c plus d, right? So your A is going to be 1/3. Your K is going to be 1/7. Does everybody understand why it's 1/7? It's theta over 7 is 1/7. Your C is going to be 135, and it's negative. And your D is going to be negative 3. And then you're going to answer the question. You're going to answer the question, amplitude is 1/3, which is a squatty little graph. Period is 360 over 1/7, so it's really 360 over 1/7 is 360 times 7. When you divide 360 by 1/7, you get, it's the same as 360 times 7, which is 2520 degrees. So it's going to take 2520 degrees to do a full squiggly on this one. All right, so then we have phase shift, and phase shift is negative C, so it's 135 over K over 1/7, and that is 135 times 7 again. It's 945. And your vertical shift is going to be down 3, okay? So this graph, if you graph the basic one, it's going to go to the right 945 degrees because the period is so high in this equation. The phase shift can be anything within that period. Obviously, if the phase shift is the period, like 2520, it's not moving. Because if it moves over a whole period, then it all looks the same. It's just you don't know what you're looking at.